that time again. I'm going to get ready for another home birth. This will be my second baby. The first birth was 2 years ago to my baby Allison, who is now 2 years old. And we had a home birth. I did share this story here on YouTube, so if you want a positive home birth story, that's in my playlist. I absolutely loved birthing at home the first time, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. And the checklist is still basically the exact same. So I'm gonna take you along as I show you what I pack for my home birth, and hopefully it helps you, especially if you're a first-time mom. Just ease your mind a little bit knowing that your baby's gonna come regardless. However, there are a few things that would make it definitely cleaner and nicer. My name is Alexa. If you're brand new to my channel, I normally post farm to table, from scratch cooking and other homemade natural living. So I have a lot of natural remedies, lotions, salves, just solutions that I have found that have worked for me and my family, as well as recipes. So that's what you'll find at the duvallhomestead.com. But today we're gonna change it up a little bit and talk about home birth. I'm gonna walk you through my birth supplies. So let's dive in. My midwife gave me a list of home birth supplies, and then she has some supplies as well that she brings. I don't really know about that. I just kind of pay attention to the list that she gives me. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I have from that list, but also some of the things that in my experience did work out really well the first time, because there are some things I see on her list that I modify a little bit for my own preference. My goal is to fit all this stuff in this one basket. We'll see how well I do. So the first item are these washable pads. Some people call them Chuck's pads or puppy pads. You can get disposable pads. These are basically just pads that you can be putting underneath yourself, whether you're in bed, on the floor, in the bathroom. As a little bit of context, I gave birth the first time in my bathroom. A lot of people like to give birth in bed. Some people use a tub. I did not want to use a tub the first time, and I don't want to a second time. But these pads are really helpful because we have carpet, so anywhere I can go, I can bring a pad with me. And here is the tip that I want to give you. If you are planning a home birth and you're looking at your supply list and you see these pads and you think, these are expensive, I want to buy disposable pads. I hear you, but these are washable, and that means that you can use them postpartum. So these are leftover from my first birth, and I used these for months postpartum. So my baby and I slept on them at night in bed, because while you may not be giving birth anymore, there is going to be breastfeeding fluid, there's going to be baby fluid. You just don't want to have to change your sheets all the time. So I highly recommend spending the extra money on a washable pad because you can set the baby on it. I also changed my baby's diapers on this pad for probably a whole year. So they have been used for a year, honestly. So best money I ever spent, and I just bought 2 more. So I'm actually adding 2 to my collection just so that I can do, that much less laundry. So trash bags. The midwives always ask for black trash bags just because I think that's where they want to put messy stuff. So I have several black trash bags here. I have hydrogen peroxide and I have 70% alcohol. I believe these are used for cleaning. Right after the birth, they took all the towels and the pads that they could and they threw it right in the washing machine. And I think they just doused it all with hydrogen peroxide or alcohol. And it was amazing because there was blood obviously all over. And by the time they left my house, only a couple hours later, there was no blood, everything was clean. So I think that they used these to clean up. Okay, this is a little ink pad for the footprint. I bought this exact same one the first time around and it worked out really well. So have to have a little footprint. And probably TMI, but if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you don't mind TMI because we're talking about birth. These are the pads. These are like really heavy pads for after birth, of course. Now, these are the exact same ones I ended up using a lot in the first time around. I did have a pretty bad tear, so I had a long recovery, but I looked back on my Amazon purchases because I remember I tried a bunch of different pad options and so many of them were uncomfortable and I didn't like them, and I looked back and I saw myself purchasing these ones like a bunch right after the birth of my first baby. So I just went ahead and bought these again because I remember I really liked them. They're organic cotton, which again, it's a premium kind of product, but I remember specifically how it felt to not have a high quality pad on because you're wearing them all day, every day for a long time, depending on your recovery. So this is it for me. These are actually not related to birth. But I'll show you, and then in another video you'll probably see me using these. So I realized that my daughter, who's 2, is not potty trained. So while I have, and I do cloth diapering, and so while I have a lot of diaper supplies for her, I don't have another stash for the newborn. So one thing I'm going to do before the birth is I need to go through my newborn stuff and see if I even have newborn diapers. If not, I need to buy those, but I'm going to go through that. But this is coconut oil. And actually, this could be used for birth as well. Fractionated coconut oil is my #1 product for baby, mother, postpartum. I use this every single day. So my daughter has her own bottle. I don't want to have to go into her room to get it when I'm changing the baby in our room, because the baby's nursery is our room for the first while. What I love about fractionated coconut oil is you can put any essential oil with it and you have yourself a homemade product. So if you have a scrape or a burn or acne or a rash or a perennial tear, anything along those lines, all you need is the right essential oil and coconut oil. And this is the coconut oil. So as long as you have this on hand and essential oils, you can solve a lot of issues. These are spray bottles. I will definitely use one of these for baby wipe solution, which is something I have to make, and that will be in another video of birth prep or getting ready for the new baby. So I make my own baby wipes and wipe solution, and I use spray bottles for this, but like I said, my daughter has her own stash. I need another stash, so I'm going to be redoing that. However, I also use these bottles for postpartum recovery, like a perennial spray. You can do like helichrysum, lavender, frankincense, with maybe some witch hazel in here, and I did that last time, so I may do that again now that I think about it. That's not a bad idea. So having these on hand is really helpful. Or you could also just do ice water, because maybe you just want a nice cooling something down there as well while you're healing. Aloe vera gel. These are, by the way, are not on my midwife list. These are mine, my list. Aloe vera goes in the homemade baby wipe solution that I was just telling you about. However, it's also just really nice to have on hand because it's a natural healer once again. So I can mix this with the coconut oil and essential oils for myself if I end up with a tear, but the primary reason I bought it is for the baby wipe solution. Next is a perennial balm. This is what I got for myself for healing. Like I said, I had a tear the first time around. We'll see what happens this time around, but regardless, everything is really sensitive and you want something to put on there. Now, I just told you about how I make my own perennial solution, and I do, but I went ahead and just bought this as well. Mostly just in case for some reason I didn't get it made in time, or I don't know. It's just good to have a little extra on hand, so I went ahead and got that as well. These are also not on the birth list, but these are on my kind of postpartum list. This is a breast balm. So I've also tried the Earth Mama one, but I do recall last time with breastfeeding that the balm, you know, you put like a balm on your breast to help heal, because the first few weeks of nursing is pretty brutal, and I do recall the balm helping quite a bit. So I feel like that's something that was worth buying again. This is a different one than I bought last time, but it's the same, basically the same ingredients. Again, I could make this myself, but I wanted to just have a backup as well. This is another one. This is called Ease the Ache. This is a product that a lot of people are buying because of the afterbirth cramps, which are worse with consecutive babies. I had some pretty bad ones the first time though, because your uterus is going back down. So I remember that the first time. So if it's gonna be worse this time, then I wanted to have a little something to be prepared with. So that's what that's for. Okay, we've got a digital thermometer and a peri bottle. If you don't know what this is for basically washing yourself after birth. It's like you don't want to touch down there because it's very sensitive, so this allows you to wash gently. And I'm just referencing my list here because she gave me a list. I feel like I don't have a lot of stuff, but this is pretty much it. Receiving blankets. Now, we don't know if we're having a boy or a girl, and some of these are pink. So I think I have some more like neutral color receiving blankets in my daughter's bedroom, but she's napping right now, so I'm not gonna go check, but here's a good stack. I was a little bit confused about this when I had my first baby, but basically the baby's born and you kind of have to pick it up with something, and then you do skin to skin, and then the baby, you know, you kind of use that one to wipe off the baby, and then the baby goes to another blanket, and then the baby will pee and poop on that blanket, and then the baby needs a third blanket. So that's why the midwives always say a lot of receiving blankets, because they get dirty almost instantly. So actually, fun fact, this was my receiving blanket right here. I think this was my hospital blanket when I was a baby. So these are actually from my parents. They saved them. So this one is new though. And then a couple of outfits. Again, this is just kind of my list, not necessarily the midwives, but found these in my postpartum storage that I made for the last baby. It's just like a loose sweater. It is August as I'm filming this. I'm due in September, and I think it'll be pretty warm still. And it comes with shorts. I'm so glad it's still intact because it's gonna be perfect for postpartum. And then I found these as well. These are just like a nice big pair of sweatpants. Don't even know where I got these from, but again, I found them and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna want that because your body is going through all these different size changes and nothing is gonna fit. So you just wanna be really cozy, at least for the first couple weeks. Okay, last but not least, towels. I didn't realize how messy you and your baby are after birth. We went through so many towels. And when you're just married, like when it's just you and your husband, you have like your bath towels and maybe you have a couple hand towels, right? You don't understand how many more towels you're gonna need until you have a baby. So we are more prepared this time. And I even splurged and bought a new set of towels. I bought organic cotton, and this is another tip I have, is you might be tempted to go and buy the cheapest towels possible because you're like, this is for my home birth, but you're gonna want to keep those towels because the baby is gonna keep being messy and you're gonna be messy. You're gonna need, you're gonna leak, you're gonna need a towel here and there. There's gonna be spit up. So get the towels that you want and that are gonna last you, because the towels that we bought for the first home birth are our current towels that we still use every single day. So this time around, I knew, hey, this is actually an opportunity to get us new towels. And you might be thinking that the towels are gonna get ruined with blood or whatever, but like I said before, that didn't happen to us. So we have all white towels, all white everything, as you can see, and none of it got stained because of the cleaning that our birth team did. So the key is to get those clean immediately and you should be fine. So some of these I'm gonna put in our bathroom because I wanna use them, but we will have a bunch ready to go in the birth basket too. Okay, so how you wanna set your bed up for a home birth is you kind of want 2 layers of mattress protection and bedding. And this is so that in the event that a bunch of liquid spills on your bed, it's protected and you can just peel off the top layer and your bed is ready to sleep in. So you want to avoid having to change your sheets basically. I have our nice organic mattress that we bought after our first baby, and I can't talk about this enough. I know I've talked about it on this channel. I'll leave a link below if you want more information about it, but basically when we had our first baby, we upgraded to a king size bed and realized that we wanted all organic mattress sheets, etc., because the baby is so fragile and we just were kind of eliminating toxins out of any way we could. Anyway, we're super thrilled with this mattress. Needless to say, we want to protect it with our life. So I have a really nice mattress protector on it already, but I'm actually going to add a second one. I want to make sure that a lot of liquid could, in theory, get on the bed without it going down to the mattress. Unless you have a full-on plastic protector over your bed, most of the mattress covers are only water resistant, which means a spill or something is not going to get through, but a lot of water for several hours, if it's sitting, it could. And so I just want to make sure that that's not on my mind when we are going through birth. I want that to be taken care of and not a problem. So some people recommend getting a shower curtain or a plastic tablecloth and putting it on your mattress and then putting sheets over the top of that. We did this with the first home birth. I bought the cheapest plasticky like mattress cover that I could find, and it was very uncomfortable and kind of loud to sleep on. If you can imagine rolling over on like a plastic sheet, right? So you're gonna be sleeping on that shower curtain every single night, and because you don't know when you're gonna give birth, or you don't know if your water is gonna break in bed or something like that, I did not wanna do this a second time. So I went ahead and bought a real mattress protector just for this purpose. Also, I wanna add that you will use this mattress protector after you have your baby in postpartum, just like a lot of the things I'm talking about. So you might as well get one that you like and that you actually are okay sleeping on, because again, you have the breast milk and the leaks and everything after you have your baby anyway, and so you need to protect your mattress again too. The bottom layer of mattress protector and bed sheets is what you want to be your permanent sleeping situation that you're gonna go back to when the baby's done. The top layer is the part that you're gonna have temporarily. So my first layer is my of course, mattress. Second layer is my regular mattress protector. This is like a waterproof, water resistant, but there's no plastic in it, so that's why it's not as good. But I don't want it because I don't want to sleep on top of plastic, you know, on the daily basis anyway. So then I have our nice organic cotton Koyuchi bed sheets. I've talked about those on this channel before too. We love them, they're so soft, but because they're bright white, I'm gonna put them on the bottom. That way, after the birth, I can strip off this top layer and I will save the nice crisp white sheets for maybe a few days after the baby is born. On top of the white sheets, I'm gonna put my new mattress protector that I bought on Amazon. That's not the nicest quality, but it will definitely do, and it shouldn't make a crinkling sound, and that's the problem I have with the plastic ones, is that you're gonna have to sleep on them and they're not that comfortable. However, what's nice about this is the top layer is a nice, I think it's organic cotton. I wanted to get an organic cotton one because I didn't want the chemicals in it, even though it's only temporary. The bottom is like a plasticky material, so I know it's going to be super waterproof. I know it's not gonna let any liquid through, so that's what we really, really want. So I'm gonna put this one down, and then over the top of that, I'm going to put some extra bed sheets that we have that I actually really like. They're really pretty gray, blue, and white checkered pattern. And so those will be the sheets that are on top of the bed for the next few weeks. By the way, this may seem like a lot of work if you're watching this and you're trying to decide if home birth is right for you. I just wanna say, yeah, it is more work up front before the birth, but when you have your baby, all of this is done and you don't have to leave, get in a car, put your baby into a car seat, which newborns hate car rides, at least the ones I know, and you're already in your bed and you have your clothes and you have your toiletries and you have your food and your family and everything is right there and you have nowhere to go. So that is the moment that having a home birth really pays off. So it's definitely worth the upfront work if you're wondering. One last thing, another recommendation is to put a second layer of protection over your pillows. I am not doing a waterproof pillow protector. I just didn't feel like buying one. So hopefully nothing gets on the pillows. We didn't have an issue with that last time. So I will say this pillowcase has a couple of layers on it already, and I'm doing a pillowcase and I'm going to do a second pillowcase. It's got a few layers on it, but if you really have like really expensive pillows, or I don't know, are really worried about it, then you can add a plastic cover to that too. If you're a first-time mom, the one thing I would say to you is enjoy it. You probably don't need as much as you think. Just get what the midwives tell you to get, and from there, my recommendations for home birth would be make sure you have lots of towels, a cleared out space, and an open mind, because you might think you're gonna birth in the bed or a bathtub, but you might just birth on the floor and it may not be anything super elegant, but that's okay as long as your baby's healthy and you're healthy too. And so you really don't need much. And quite frankly, I would resist things like that pregnancy app, the Amazon stuff. They always tell you you need all these things for a newborn baby birth, and I did not need any of those things basically that they recommended. I mean, I'm sure that there's one or two that we actually bought, but I'm being totally transparent that this is all I have for the home birth in this basket right here. Last time, my birth was so fast and so simple that the only thing I really truly needed, other than with a midwife bra, of course, the only thing we needed was these washable pads like I told you, towels, and some basic ingredients like coconut oil and essential oils, and that can just get you so far. I'm going to put this basket on the floor by my bed, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm ready to give birth now. All right, well, thanks for watching. If you're brand new to my channel, I normally post farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living. I do have a lot of pregnancy and motherhood and postpartum content, homemade salves and lotions and remedies for life as a mother. So if you go to theduvallhomestead.com and there is a tab, I think it's called Natural Living, and then go to Natural Pregnancy and Birth, you should see all of that related content. Thank you, as always, so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.